Hello everyone, this is Aluminum Tarot. Welcome back as always. We're going to go ahead and do the reading for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising for the month of October 2025. And for this, we're going to go ahead and just peer back behind the veil and see exactly what's taking place in Capricorn's life for this period from the 1st to the 31st of October. So we're going to go through the normal drill. Try not to make it too boring. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, give that a thumbs up. Comment below how this actually impacts you if you are a Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. And also, if you like what you see here on the channel, please feel free to contribute monetarily by chucking in a few quid for a donation for coffee or whatever. It just helps to keep the channel growing. And I guess the only other thing is to watch out for scammers. You know how they operate, you know what they do. If you show up in someone's WhatsApp or Telegram asking them to, I'll do a free reading, or I'll do a reading for you, and then, all you have to do is just text me at this number below. And no, don't do it. It's a load of shit. Anyways, hopefully I didn't swear after 8 seconds. Hopefully I did swear after 8 seconds. So that way I didn't get flagged on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and read the cards using the, what is this? This is the Steampunk Tarot. And we're going to use the complementary Steampunk Lenormand in order to give some oracle messages for that. So, without further ado, Capricorn, this is for you. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of October 2024. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising for the month of October 2025. I hope I didn't say October 2024. Maybe there was a significant event in October 2024 that has impacted your life leading up to a year now. So we'll see what that is. If not, you can just ignore that. So what we've got here, we just went through, it was a solar eclipse in Virgo. I think I may have said a lunar eclipse in previous readings. So apologies for the confusion on that. That has been a bit of a doozy. And so it's giving people the chance to actually illuminate and to essentially give them the chance to find their way into Virgoian energy, purging all of the old stuff out and making way for the new. So it's a kind of a spiritual cleansing that takes place when there's an eclipse of any kind, whether that's the lunar or the solar eclipse. I know we have had 2 eclipses this month so far. And I think the previous one was the lunar eclipse in Pisces, which made people go like off the charts when it came to the way they emoted or the way they felt certain things. So it was just absolutely mad that day. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So what's the challenge? What took place in the recent past? What took place in the near future? What will take place in the near future? What is at the core of Capricorn's energy? What is at the crown of Capricorn's energy? Okay, and what is the final outcome for October 2025? Okay, that's good. Very good. We'll see. We're going to look into this and read a bit about what's going on. So what we see here at the bottom, we have the 2 of Cups in the reverse. This is a disconnect. Sometimes you can feel like you're detached from your heart or your head. And sometimes it can make you feel like you've gotten out of a bad relationship that maybe wasn't the best for you. So you were removing yourself or disassociating yourself from that. So that's what you don't see coming. So if there's a situation that you are attached to, then you may find yourself drifting away from that as time passes on. So what we have here in the current energy, which has taken place, is the 8 of Engines, which is the 8 of Wands in this tarot deck. And what we find here is that maybe you're finding that something feels a bit blocked and that maybe it's not coming in fast enough. Maybe you have decided to cut off communication from someone, and perhaps you have found that you have needed to cut communication from them, so that way you can get your own bearings together. Or potentially there may have been just an all around detachment or disconnect from someone that you know. Maybe the person that you know is not communicating with you, not speaking with you, or maybe you have felt you needed to push them away in order for you to kind of move on from whatever situation was bothering you at the time. What we see here, the challenges. There are 3 major arcana that came out for the challenge. So this is a significant event that is taking place that you have to overcome. Well, wait a minute. 2. Okay. So we have here the Comet in the reverse, which is the Star in the reverse, and then the Apprentice in the reverse. So this deals with strong Aquarian energy. And what we notice in these 2 cards is that both of these are ruled by Aquarius. The Star is about healing. It's about growth after a difficult period, a tower moment. And then you have the Apprentice, which is the Fool, which can also talk about a new start. So when the 2 of these are in the reverse, it is about the challenge of learning how to have a fresh new start and heal from something difficult that took place in your life. And whoever this Aquarius is, they have put a significant amount of negative energy within your scope of being or your energy field. And maybe you have been carrying this for quite some time, and now you're trying to find ways to let this go. Whatever the case may be, we now see that we're looking in the recent past. You have the Hermit, and then you have the Ten of Cups in the reverse. With these 2 cards, is what you're trying to say is that you've gone in, you've thought a lot about this situation, the scenario, and what it is that it has taught you, what lessons you've learned from this. This is what the Hermit does when they release themselves, they remove themselves from everyone else and go into a kind of hermit lifestyle so that they can process their thoughts, their emotions, and get a clear perspective on things. As this card deals with Virgo, is the opposite of Pisces, and the card for the Pisceans are the Hangman. So you have 2 similar energies, one in the physical realm, one in the spiritual realm, and both of them are trying to isolate themselves in order to find a better understanding of their current situation at a bird's eye view of it, to say the same. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to overcome and get away from this negative depression that you've been dealing with this Ten of Cups in the reverse. This is about a person, who is trying to get out of this negative feeling that, they're feeling unhappy, they're feeling down, sad, or depressed about certain things. It could be the dissolution of a family as well, because the Ten of Cups does represent the family. And it's having the wife, the kids, the picket fence, and all of that good stuff. But in the reverse, what it's saying is that it feels like your family dynamics are breaking apart. And what you're now trying to do is to step in an energy where you are a bit more independent and solid on your own. We have here, stepping into the energy in the near future, we have the 9 of Swords. I'm going to clarify that. Clarify the 9 of Swords. So, very weird. You have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, and the 2 of Pentacles in the upright. So it's about adapting to the changes in your life that stress you out. And so these things that you're looking at, your triggers, your stressors, you're learning how to overcome them by adapting to them as they take hold. But the process is a little bit difficult. When you have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, this is a person that gets on your nerves. This is an immature energy. So say, for example, if you have a younger brother or, a sibling of that nature that you just can't fucking stand. You're just like, what is your problem? Why are you doing this? You are now trying to, understand this person for who they are and accept them, even though they drive you crazy. because that's the image that I'm getting here right now. It's like either a family member or maybe someone that's in your life that is of a more immature energy, because I see at your core, we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Dealing with this person or this energy or this individual or this particular situation, apply how it resonates in your specific lifestyle. What this has done, this has kind of knocked you off kilter. And what you are now looking at, you're looking at kind of your foundation has been rocked by what this person has done. And now you're trying to get back to the best. What I almost get the impression of is that whoever you've been dealing with that is of an immature energy, and this could apply to family, this could apply to work, other situations as well. It almost makes you feel like, you've either lent them money, you have tried to be their rock and their stable foundation, and now you're no longer willing to do that. Because this can mean many things. If we look at it simply in the physical realm, we could say that, maybe you're tired of giving this person money, you're tired of bailing them out of difficult situations, but I feel because this is at the core level, you have tried to be this person's voice of reason for so long that now you're looking like, I have to cut this off because it's draining me of my own resources. And that can be your time. Pentacles don't just represent simply money. They can also talk about your time, energy, and attention. And this is something that you want to start preserving from now on. What you see as the crown energy, what you know about the situation, is the Ten of Pentacles. Family is important to you, but so is your own legacy. And what you realize is that you have two tens here. You have the Ten of Cups in the reverse in the past. This is about chaos and dissolution of family, things of that nature, an overall feeling of unhappiness. But then you move into the Ten of Pentacles. That is what you conscientiously know that you want to achieve and accomplish. And what you're trying to do right now is you're trying to get back to that. You understand that this is important. But it's almost giving me the impression right now is that your family, your legacy even, needs to be rooted in reality a bit more rather than being rooted in the emotion. So going from this Ten of Pentacles, you were coming from the Ten of Cups in the reverse. That's water energy, and that's a bit more murky, but the Ten of Pentacles is a very solid foundation for everything. And this is almost like this is what you're trying to create in the near future for yourself. So that way you're no longer kind of, taking a stab in the dark about things. Clarify the final card. So with the lust, you have the Nine of Pentacles, and this is clarified by the Knight of Wands. So what you're doing here, the 9 is an individual number. So it's basically talking about you're almost there, you're almost at the Ten of Pentacles, and you do have the Ten of Pentacles as what you're trying to achieve. But what you're doing now, you're trying to become more independent. You see oftentimes the number 9s relate to independent cards. 9 of Swords is your own independent thoughts and actions, typically driving you mad. And then you have the 9 of Cups, which is about emotional independence. Getting past the 8 and now stepping into the 9, which is about, I don't need to worry about external influences. I can, I'm a whole person on my own. And then you have the 9 of Wands. You have almost achieved a goal which you're trying to let go of and which you're trying to fight to persevere and overcome. So with that, you're doing this with a lot of energy that is very driven. You want to try to make sure that you remain balanced. But one of the things is with the Knight of Wands, this is a person who is very adventurous, bold and assertive. And what I think you're trying to do now is assert yourself. So that way, when you go out into the world, you're no longer worried or bogged down by a lot of the difficulties that have been taking place in the past. and you're no longer worrying about others, you're worrying more about yourself. So you may be taking a step back from family, and you may be trying to get your own affairs in order and trying to say, okay, well, what is it that I want? What is it that I need? Can I be financially independent and go ahead and start getting out there, doing a bit more travel, getting my own affairs together, meeting new friends, getting into new social groups, so that, you know, I can be responsible for my own happiness rather than placing my happiness in someone else, or maybe even worrying about other things to the point where my happiness is sacrificed by my own internal processes, like my own thoughts and so on, like that. So it's important for you to look at things in the sense that you are now no longer concerned so heavily with the external, and you're moving towards the internal and allowing yourself to become a bit more balanced and a bit more solid. So let's go ahead and get an oracle message. I do apologize. My brain is absolutely burnt out. I have been, for the last week, pining over places so that I can start moving. So I'll be moving to a new place. I'll keep you updated on that. Oracle message for Capricorn. So we have here the anchor, and this is about being grounded, like we were talking about, being stable and being able to finally put yourself in a position where you want to more, where you want to go. We'll read a little bit from the book here just to make sure we're on the right track with that. And that's it. The anchor. Destination, staying put, being stable, deep ties, persistence, holding on tightly. So when you have the anchor, I see this as a way that you can actually become stable. And this is what you want. Not just monetarily, but also individually. You know, as yourself, this is your ship. You are trying to pilot your life now. You're not wanting to base it on other things, other people, other places that no longer hold any relevance, or that you're trying to, you don't want them to be a weight that takes the wind out of your sails or that prevents you from making forward progress in your life. So you may be cutting ties with that person in order for you to finally move forward with your life. And, we see the anchor here, which is a very beautiful rendition of this. But then you also see the Ten of Pentacles, which is what you want. And there's your ship. That's your ship that you're going to be piloting. And as the navigator of engines, you will see yourself being in the pilot seat in order for you to finally make forward movement in order for you to have a life that is much more under your own control and less under the control of other people. So that's the message that I'm getting right now. Apologies, my brain is absolutely cooked. And I'm just going to get through the last two readings that I'm going to do for today. So that way I can just get them done. The messages are out there. And we can kind of wrap things up before October starts. I'm going to get on my ass about that. So that way I get out the next month's reading before the month commences. And that way you can get these readings and you can say, okay, well, maybe I can understand what could or could not take place, over the next, period. So that's going to be pretty much it. Thank you so much. This has been Aluminum Tarot. It's a pleasure having you here. It's a pleasure reading for you. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell. What's going on in your life, Capricorn? Let us know. And that way we can share our own experiences with the audiences at large. And also feel free to support, and also be aware of scammers. Make sure that they're out of the picture. Thanks so much. Until next time, love and light.